For the third time in a row, I'm making a special video to report on my author's income and how it grew in a year. So, how many books did I sell in 2023? Have I finally got a positive return on investment? What are my feelings after 3 years of self-publishing? Let's find out. So before we start, as always, a disclaimer to say that the numbers I will be sharing are only representative of my author business. It only represents a tiny part of my total income. So please, don't quit your job on a whim. Becoming a successful indie author doesn't happen overnight. This is my 3rd year of publishing my own books and trying to grow a business around it. That being said, a little bit of context. In 2023, I had a total of 3 self-published books. The Londoners, which I released in 2021, the translation of The Londoners in French in 2022, and SEO for Authors, which I released in July of 2023. SEO standing for Search Engine Optimization. Thank you for asking. Okay, so let's talk numbers. I think I've talked too much already. Which book was my bestseller in 2023? Well, without any surprise, my bestseller was my newest book, SEO for Authors. But everything is to be put in perspective. In 2021, I sold 83 books. In 2022, it was 51 books. And this time in 2023, I sold a total of 74 books. In all honesty, I'm a bit disappointed by that number. It's better than the year before, don't get me wrong. Knowing I did very little marketing because I had literally no time as I had enrolled in a web design bootcamp to do a career change, it's better than I could have expected. However, I'm still disappointed because SEO for Authors hasn't broken even yet. In a previous video, I told you I only spent 160 euros to self-publish SEO for Authors. Compared to the 1,000 I spent for The Londoners, realistically, it would have been easier to break even on SEO for Authors. That's a bummer, but let it be a learning for the future. It's not because people tell you they would totally buy that book that they actually do. I think my next release will be because I wanted to release that book rather than people wanting me to release that book. You know what I mean? Anyway, in terms of income, my book sales represent 46%. My speaking gigs, however, represent 52%. If you don't know, I've given a few talks about SEO for Authors this year. So should I consider my speaking gigs when I'm saying my book didn't break even? Because if I do, I totally did. But I'm not taking book sales into account in that calculation. So still a bit of work to do. In terms of expenses, I had the usual self-publishing costs at 57% and day-to-day at 34%. That's postage and PayPal fee, if you're curious. You can see that I barely did ads with only 2%. So I know I can do better in terms of marketing for my books. Hand in hand, that makes it a return on investment of 13%. It's a positive ROI for the first time in 3 years. And for that, I'm really grateful. I have a lot of work to do to make my author business sustainable. But as time goes by, I'm building my backlist, 1 book per year. And in 2024, I intend to keep that pace. It's going to be tremendously hard because I'm pivoting my career and I have a toddler now, but at the time of recording this video, I'm working on the second draft of my second memoir, and I'm querying a middle grade fantasy novel. So what are my feelings after 3 years of self-publishing? Self-publishing is really tough. That won't come as a surprise, but you've got to push your books in front of readers all the time. If you don't do that, your book won't magically sell. I've learned that lesson this year, as I was busy elsewhere and didn't take the time to do any sort of marketing. Well, I did talk at conferences and events, which helped a little, but it's not enough if I ever wanted to make it a sustainable business. And no, it was never the plan to offer SEO services to authors. Just a book and speaking events are enough for me. Someone gave me the idea of creating a workbook, but I will see if I ever do that. Anyway, let me know in the comments how your author business fared in 2022. Thank you for watching until the very end. You're the best. Don't forget to subscribe on your way out and take care until next time. Bye!